get help, not to harm. They were injured. They had been in some fights. They had been very viciously assaulted by these little gremlins called Mitflits. You rescued them. You helped them. And as the morning rose, you each made your way towards their camp. Now, there was someone new here at this, what turned out to be abandoned mine. A tall, strong, long-haired, very much outdoorsman-looking individual who seemed to also be working with the kobolds, or at least nearby a few injured kobolds. There was an active skirmish taking place, a mixture of these Mitflits attempting to pull the attention of the kobolds that were outside and keep them outside. As you snuck forward, you could really start to pick up, especially Victoria with your ability to hear the Fey language, that there was some intent to not allow the kobolds to rush inside, and eventually it became clear why. The chief of this tribe was being viciously assaulted by a couple of these Mitflits and cried out to his tribe for help to hopefully get these pains off his neck. And the kobolds reacted. There was a lot of fighting going on, but as the kobolds had been weakened, you all began to step in. First, it was this strange new person who you would become to know as Iridir, a bounty hunter who was seeking a well-known name, information on one called the Stag Lord, but his focus was not on them. It was on trying to dispatch as many of these Mitflits as possible. Valerie stepped in, Victoria stepped in, Satoshi stepped in, and each of you did what you could to calm the situation. Eventually, as the Mitflits were defeated, you offered aid, healing, some healing potions. The chief truly respected this, but he had questions. For his tribe was only here because they were seeking members of the Sky Scale tribe, a light blue scaled tribe that someone they call the Red Queen had sent them on this mission to come down from the mountains to seek out the disappearance of this tribe. They had received information from a local druid that this tribe was last seen towards a river towards the north, and that when he had sent out some of his tribe to go find them, they only found Mitflits. And since that moment, the Mitflits continued to follow them like fleas, attacking, slashing, and harming many of his tribe. He said that the Mitflits seemed to be blaming them for something, saying they took something, but the tribe had never dealt with their kind before. He didn't know exactly what their anger was. Regardless, he was grateful for the care. He offered you some gifts, a few chunks of what appears to be raw gold, ore from this mine. As you entered in, you could actually see there were clear ore deposits of gold within this place, even signs of life, though no clear indication as to why they would have left. They also offered some assistance because you told them you were out here in the wilderness looking for the Stag Lord. A Stag Lord is something they've heard rumors of and have their own reason to hate in this part of the world. They are not healthy enough to walk with you, to travel with you, but they did give you a very unique amulet. This red crystal that, when each of you had a chance to take a look at it, appeared to have some sense of power, something contained within a very powerful item. They told you, when you need our help, just toss that into the hottest fire you can find, and you will receive the Red Queen. Now, as you all had a chance to recover, you spoke a little bit with this bounty hunter, Iridir. He came down from some of the nearby mountains. He was aware of the dark waters and the Invictus Crossing situation, and he was familiar with the name the Stag Lord. He seemed to be very strong in combat, and, well, out here in the wilds of the woods, you all have really become comfortable with those that show a little bit of light joining you on these very dark pathways. We start as you're all moving through the woods. The cart is moving about half speed at this point, not able to travel as fast due to the denseness of the woods. As you're traveling, Lindsay continues to ask Iridir more and more questions, trying to get more information about this new individual. Where did he come from? Tell me more about your tribe. Possibly to the point where you, Iridir, may want to take the horse a little bit further from the cart. But you're headed towards the Thorn River campsite. This campsite, you would have learned, or having been there yourself, each of you would have your own way of knowing the history of this place. This is where one of the Stag Lord's lieutenants, Cressel, had kind of claimed land. She had a sizable amount of men, about 20 or so, that would use it as a launching point against Oleg's trade for and the road itself. The honorable mentions, though not everyone here, I think honestly only Graham and Satoshi would be the ones that actually traveled here the first time, would recall the amount of bloodshed that took place at this camp. It was a very vicious, impactful, dangerous fight. But all of the bandits were defeated. The lieutenant was captured. And though she is now dead, you had learned much from her. Since then, you sent a couple of your accomplices, a few ex-bandit brothers, to utilize this space as a camp and hunting site, to kind of clean up the mess, to deal with some of the bodies that were there, and in general, use this as a place to potentially launch a hunting business of your own. The last time you were at Oleg's fort, you had received some news that the brothers had just been there. They had arrived with a woman with blonde hair and another gentleman sounding very similar to a couple you had met in the forest a few days prior. They had left a couple bags of boar meat and apparently a bag of tatzelworm meat. It was that meat that ended up being the cause of a near-death experience for one of the mercenaries stationed there. As you're traveling through, those of you that experienced the danger of the Dryad's Grove feel the oppressive nature of even these woods. There's something eerie about the fact that as you continue to move forward, the birds, the bugs, the creatures you can hear in the distance get silent as you come closer. As you continue to move, the trees don't sway with the wind, but almost seem to bend as if you have a strange gravitational pull upon them. Now, Iridir, you're the newest one here. you have a chance with all of these relatively new faces. And again, one of them is really trying to ask you a lot of questions. But do you have any questions of this group about what they've done, what they know? You're on a bounty hunt. Is there anything about your bounty that you would like for them to answer?
So I would kind of look at, Victoria and just ask her what all she knows of the Stag Lord, or if anyone has any, like, physical depictions or drawings of what he may actually look like.
You're asking the wrong book nerd. I think Lindsay might have descriptions. I just know a general area. I haven't been with the group long.
Please. Don't let me ask her.
I mean, I can tell you, the general area of a map. I'll show you like a picture of a map, and I'll show you the general areas where we're heading, where we think he's camped, and descriptions of the think he's human. That's about all I know. I don't know a whole lot. Just that Staglord's bad.
You, the gnome one. What's your name? Again?
Me?
Yes, you.
Yeah, I'm Brian.
How much do you know of the Stag Lord?
Well, unfortunately, not a ton. We've only encountered his minions, not so much himself.
How many minions does he typically have in a location? If you remember by chance.
Kind of see him close his eyes a little bit and start kind of counting up in his head. How many were there that time that we took on that encampment?
So, at the Thorn River camp, there were about 15 bandits that you assaulted here. But you also, from that camp, you received a spy's notebook. There was one of the men here who was actually an agent of the Black Tears, who was putting on a front to get to know the Stag Lords a little bit more. And in that book, you learned that there are about probably 5 to 7 active patrols in the Greenbelt at all times. And these patrols will rarely have more than 5 bandits in them. As far as the fort itself, it has the ability to hold about 30 bandits in it. However, the spy was never able to see more than he assumed, maybe 12, though it's a sizable place and he didn't have a complete good view inside. He would not be able to necessarily have had the full count. That book would have also mentioned the Stag Lord in brief description, a very tall, brutish individual who continuously wears this stag skull mask and horned, almost like helmet, never removing it. He's an alcoholic, he is a drunk, he is a bastard, and he definitely has some aspect of terror that he holds over his men.
So he looks a lot like Cobb's character.
Yeah, just who knows?
I'll
Spoilers.
just point and it'll be like, Staglord.
Aha, we found you at last.
Aha! On guard.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share that information. I might inflate the numbers that we took on personally a little bit.
Sure.
But
There's nobody
Generally,
here to refute
generally
you.
correct. Exactly.
Except for, like,
Exactly.
maybe Lindsay with,
Lindsay understands the power of a good story, I'm sure.
Huh?
So what you're saying is we're headed towards a good fight.
I think that's safe to say, yeah.
As oh, go ahead.
Let's say he just like looks at Lindsay and just goes, "Please, no more. Not right now."
She'll just smirk and nod and go back to writing something in her book. The cart will continue to travel for another hour or so. Again, you continue to have this. It's not a scary feeling, it's just an off-putting feeling. It's that concern of we are still in the wilds. But you can start to smell the scent of a smoke, a campfire. You can actually kind of start to see a bit of light flickering in the distance, and eventually you can start to see what appears to be the camp up ahead. Duckworth will have to stop the cart maybe 20 or so feet back. It's just not enough of good space to get the cart cleanly in there. And you can see around the campfire there are two figures. First, the companion that you sent. One, Amiri. Now, Amiri seems to have a drink in one hand, laughing about something as she has a discussion with a young woman, long blonde hair, someone that those of you who had been here the first time would recognize as the female partner within that hunter couple that you had come around, matching the description of someone who had been traveling with the Bandit Brothers recently. Now, Graham, you would specifically notice that on the small little peninsula that separated the very thin stream that flowed through here, there's about 15 new mounds of dirt, pretty clearly where bodies have been buried. You might even see elements of animal tracks around them. Nothing's been dug out, but there's, paw prints and things like that. The camp itself looks fairly similar. The amulets have been, or the amulet and the knife had been taken down off the tree. The scratches from your fake bear are still visible, though the tree has started to repair. The sleeping bags, the rugs have been pulled a little bit closer to the campfire. Most of the things on the far edge of the camp have been kind of let to go to waste, but it does definitely look like this has been an active campsite. It's had signs of use. Clearly the Bandit Brothers have been here. They cleaned it, but you don't see them here now. As you all begin to approach, getting down from your horses and stepping forward, Amiri will see you first. Again, you see that alert, very focused before she recognizes some friendly faces, and she'll stand up and just holler, "Friends, it's about time. Lindsay, is that you? Oh, come here, you!" And she will go running. Lindsay goes squealing, tip-tapping her way there, and she'll pick Lindsay up and give her a big squeeze, kind of throwing her up in the air for a moment. A big celebration. As this is happening, though, those that would wish, go ahead and give me a secret perception check if you're keeping an eye on the other person in camp. Okay. Graham and Victoria, both of you notice that at first there's a bit of shock not like fear, but just like, wow, that's a lot of people walking out of the woods. There's a small smirk as she may not recognize who they are, but sees that Amiri recognizes them. I would say, Victoria, you definitely pick up, though. She slides ever so slightly across the log to her right, and you'll notice that down, leaning on the log, is her bow. She moves just a couple inches closer to it, not reaching for it, not trying to make a big presentation about it, but definitely moving closer to it.
I'll keep an eye on her. But not much more than that.
Amiri will set Lindsay down and look towards the rest of you, and her eyes come across this broad-shouldered, well, very interesting looking individual. Let's see, let me get Amiri up in here so you have a chance to see who you're about to be questioned by. Amiri
Manhandle you.
stands equally as tall, if not maybe because of the bounce to her hair, a little bit taller to you. You notice that she has a massive sword that's still back behind her, a massive bastard sword, but she'll give you a look, and I would say, Iridir, it's not a look that necessarily is all that good. It is almost this like predator versus predator kind of eyes. You see her eyebrows kind of furrow for a moment. Her smile kind of goes down to just this very slight smirk, but her eyes have this extreme focus as she's looking at every mark on your body, every tattoo that she can see. What would you like to do?
Kind of, Yurdir would kind of take a couple steps forward and ask Lindsay if this is the tall one that she was mentioning at the end of our last adventure.
Lindsay will look back with a kind of a sly look in her eyes. Ah, it is. Amiri, you're not going to believe it. I'll tell you all about the kobolds and everything that we had there. But there was this gentleman. His name is Iridir. He is trying to kill the Stag Lord just like us. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, Iridir, you said the Sarkeesian Mountains? Those are the ones up in the northwest, right?
Yes, that is where me and my people are from.
Now you never really told me, Amiri, but I don't know. I thought that it could be great. And Amiri will kind of relax a little bit. She'll step forward. Yes, those are the mountains to the northwest. You said Iridir, and she will stride forward, kind of going out for one of those like bear paw kind of handshakes. Not like the firm grasp, but that forearm to forearm kind of tough man kind of shakes.
Yurdir would stick his hand out and oblige, and like firmly grasp her hand and kind of pull her into almost like a hug.
Okay. There is immediately the same sensation as she goes to try to pull you as well. Please give me an athletics check to see which one of our strong people are going to actually have the control of power in this situation.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
That is exactly what created my mind.
Check portion.
So if you go to your character, let me hide this real quick. If you click on your character, it's going to be under your actions, or your skills, sorry, the hand icon. And then that pulls up the big page what
Yeah,
you're
so
looking for is your athletics check. So
that's
it's on
right.
your
Oh,
left
he's
side.
Revamped everything.
Yeah, you shouldn't need your character sheet open anymore. You should just click your token and everything's there. Click around it though.
I saw all this crazy stuff, and I was like, that is definitely not the way it looked last time I was playing.
Yeah, it
No.
didn't even look like that last time we all played. We were like, wow.
Click on the word athletics, or is there a specific
Yep.
spot for check? Oh, okay.
Just the word athletics.
Bam.
I saw the 20 for a split second.
Yeah, I was like, wow, it's gonna be
I
20.
was like, there's no way.
Whoa.
Oh no. You do have a hero point, and I'm not sure if this is the moment to use it. But
I'm not gonna bet with me this
Is your pride gonna?
there is not like she's not throwing you on the ground, but she does lift you to your toes for a moment. And that does get her to have a very prideful smirk, where she will then just give you a pat on the back. Welcome to camp, Erdir. Please, everyone, we've got some drink, and Amara over there was just telling me this just so silly story about the Bandit Bros. Come sit down, everyone. Oh, and she'll look back to the cart where you'll see good old Finlay Duckworth and Aramir just kind of hanging back there still. He's taken that Mother Goose kind of protective aspect of really not wanting Aramir to venture too far, but also letting you all do your thing. So not only is he a very good cart driver, he's being a very good nanny as well. But Amiri will recognize that the child's still there. She had actually had a brief kind of moment with him, and there is this just kind of small nod and kind of the I see you, but right now I want my friends to sit down. Mara has not stood up. She's smiling at everyone. She's looking at everyone. She kind of nods when Amiri mentions talking about this other story, but she's not wanting to just immediately jump in. Like, so many people have just shown up. What would you all like to do? Again, the camp's been kind of cleaned. It's been kind of updated. And you know a little bit about this woman. You know, you met her and her partner, potential husband, in the forest, and they gave you some really good meat. They were up at Oleg's with the Bandit Bros. They gave Tatsuworm meat, which is potentially dangerous, but also if it is handled properly, it's not necessarily poisonous. But the Bandit Bros are clearly not here. You don't see her partner here as well. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm not one to refuse sitting down with some friends and enjoying some tales and table talk.
Yeah, Victoria hasn't met this lady, but saw that she went for her bow, so she's gonna just sit down next to her. Not directly next to her, but on the same kind of log.
Okay.
So she can keep an eye on her.
Sure.
And she'll, give her a greeting.
Okay. She'll nod. Yeah. Welcome to camp, everyone. I hope your travel wasn't too bad. Lindsay, you mentioned something about kobolds. Did you run into some too? We've had a few get fairly close to camp. Not anything to be concerned of. Just seems very peculiar. Lindsay will just kind of nod. Yeah, it's nothing we need to talk about right now. They're okay now. They're safe. You said that there's drinks. Where are they? I'll get the cups. And Amiri will lift up a satchel that she has, and kind of hand a fairly large goblet of some kind of drink. Lindsay will start to wander around offering drinks as she can. Mary will look back to Mara and just, okay, you have to finish. So Bubba was trying to fish, and he was using what? Mara kind of relaxes a little bit. I swear you not. He took his boots off, and he got his toe completely covered. I think it was honey. I'm not sure. He definitely it was sticky because as soon as he walked, it was just covered in dirt. But he would walk in to the water there, and he was just shoving his foot into every single hole he could find. Now, I don't know if he had not done this before, but we don't got things like catfish or nothing like that down here. So he ended up getting a pretty big bullfrog on there. And, as soon as it got the toe, it got the whole dang foot. And as soon as it got the foot, it got stuck. He comes out of here trying not to step on the frog, trying not to step on his toe, trying not to trip over himself. You can actually hear the sound of this frog just groaning and groaning and groaning. Eventually, Joe gets over there, tackles him to the ground, gets this frog off of him, throws the frog away. Bubba's trying to get himself clear, and the frog jumps right back and slaps him right in the face with his frickin' tongue. I swear, I swear, that frog had a vendetta. I think he learned his lesson though. They don't do much fishing now. Roderick's out teaching them how to hunt boar. That's really where you get the good stuff out here. Valerie will kind of sit nearby you, Victoria. Also, just kind of noticing things around. You said they're out hunting right now. Oh yeah, Roderick and those two, they left maybe a couple days ago. I'm sure they'll be back in a couple days. Normally Roderick tries to at least check in every other night. Where is it they're going? Oh, I don't know. Roderick goes all over these woods. Again, the boar, they try to stay away from places like this. They don't really like the busy spots, so you gotta travel a bit deep to really get to them. And they're smart, these boar. They know when they're being hunted. Valerie will.
Don't these brothers know exactly what they're doing, though? Haven't they been hunting boar for a while?
They were hunting up in the north, from what I could tell. I don't know. Have you seen those two boys actually work? I don't mean to offend, but they're not necessarily the most wise.
I don't think I've ever met them.
Yeah, actually, I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't think Victoria's ever met him. I think she's just going off of stories that she's heard about him. Just like, oh, didn't they used to hunt all the time?
I'm trying to remember myself, honestly. Like,
From
I thought.
did we remember them when they were doing
actually.
trap? Like when they had set up traps? Was that
Yeah,
them?
were they?
That set up?
that
Yeah,
was
they were trapping. We killed their
from
family and everything.
Graham. From what you can recall, the sister seemed to likely be the most intelligent of the family. She's the one that died, unfortunately by a trap that you had moved into a different place, and she
Yeah, by
died
her
from
own
her own
poison trap.
poison trap.
Mhm.
since that point, like they talked about hunting, but they were definitely using a lot of third person type of statements. They were excited to go hunting, but it definitely seems that these were the two potentially weaker members of the family. The big brother that you had found basically crucified to a tree, and then the sister likely had an aspect of guidance that now Joe is doing all he can to make sure Bubba is falling in line. But just the work that they did at Oleg's, they required a lot of kind of hands-on approach. They would be hard workers, but they would need some decent guidance to do things correctly.
Gotcha. So no, they're not exactly the best workers, but when they set their mind to something, they'll get it done.
Oh yeah, I mean, when Roderick and I found this place, they had already dug up, I mean, probably about 10 of those graves over there. Have you all been here before? There was a massive fight or something that took place here. Those brothers got it all cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really gave them the shit end of the job coming down here to clean it all up.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't kill them, so
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
that's fair
yeah,
trade.
that's fair.
Victoria, as you're sitting here, what do you have Ember doing?
Never just out flying about, looking around,
Okay.
keeping an eye on things, but not like looking out for anything in particular.
I think as you all are starting to settle in around the camp, Valerie will check in with Amiri. Lindsay kind of goes and sits by them as well. Victoria, you will have a moment where Ember perches on one of the tree limbs nearby and just gives you that not alarming, but just that kind of chirp that you recognize as kind of a hey kind of thing.
Huh. I'll put my arm out for him to come land on it, and we'll have a conversation.
He'll fly over and he lands, kind of does the little bird hop up to your shoulder. And you'll just hear the word trap.
Oh, well, that's mildly disconcerting. And I'll just kind of, I'll excuse myself, and we'll go investigate.
Okay.
I will follow Ember in the direction.
Okay. Well, as you are getting up and moving in the direction away from camp, why don't you give me a seek as you're actively starting to look for things that might be hidden.
Would that
That's perception. If you click on it, you can do your skills.
perception? Oh my god, is that a thing that I have?
It should
Oh,
be
man.
towards the top.
There it is. Oops, I meant to hit this button. Roll. That's a question mark. Wow.
You walk across the small stream and into one of the thicker patches of woods, and Ember will fly up and right below the branch that they land on, you can see what appears to be a rope that has been kind of tied up and then attached to the trunk. And there's something relatively like weighted that just kind of dangling there. It looks like some kind of burlap sack that has this dark stain at the bottom. And as you are kind of looking around that area, you can definitely see more of these animal prints that are around, and occasionally small clumps of what appear to be a white or a gray fur stuck to some underbrush or across a branch.
Huh. Let's see. I have nature, right? No, I don't. Can I try and figure out what it is?
You could definitely give me a recall knowledge. It would be recall knowledge nature, and that would be secret.
Recall knowledge. This one. Question mark again.
What is the focus of this? The sack, the prints, the fur, what is the main thing that you're trying to get an idea on?
Probably just the fur for now.
Okay. You get down and you take a look at it, and you can see that it's kind of this mixed clump of lighter and grayer fur. And as you feel the texture of it, it has that feeling of like wolf, kind of thicker, cold resistant kind of feeling. Now, these woods, you're not quite sure from like having ever been out here, but in the time of reading, the Glenabon Woods are known for thylacines, they're known for deer and elk and boars. It's not really known for wolves.
Well, that's kind of okay. Well, I don't feel like being eaten by a wolf, so I will go back and wander back into camp and just kind of ask Amiri about the bag and then the wolf fur. Just kind of over there.
You found a bag over there? Like,
Yeah, it's just kind of hanging there.
huh. I'm not sure. I can go take a look at it if you want.
Yeah, it's got the wolf fur around it. And it's just kind of dangling there. Kind of confusing.
Yeah. Show me where it's at. She'll start to get up and follow with you. Eardeer
I'll take her over there, Joe.
Eardeer and Graham, as Victoria and Amiri are heading back there, what are you both doing in the camp?
Honestly, you'd kind of be surprised about hearing about wolf fur and bags, because wolves typically don't go with like bags. It's more of a thing you do for bears.
Yeah.
You put your food up high so that way bears don't get it, not wolves.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of say all of that, like just loud enough, So that way Victoria and oh god, what the hell's her name?
Amiri.
Graham.
Amiri? What?
Amiri. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just loud enough, kind of so that they hear it.
Graham's just self-inserting now.
That's me.
I'm Graham. That's Graham. I'm Graham, and we're all Graham.
We are Graham.
Doctor?
As you get back over there, Mary will kind of push through and she'll walk straight up to the bag. She pushes her finger up against it and pulls it back and smells. Huh. She'll pull her dagger out and cuts the rope, and this thing lands on the ground. And as soon as it does, it releases this puff of like dust. Like it's been sitting up there for a long time, or it was covered in something. Amiri like turns real fast to not get it in her eyes. What do you do, Victoria?
You know, probably also like put an arm up and try to turn away from it.
As Amiri leans down, you can start to pick up this smell of metal. No, not metal. Blood. But there's something almost heightened about it. Mary will tear the bag open. And as those of you who are in camp, you kind of hear the sound of that thud, maybe a cough. Mara will slowly stand up and begin to nonchalantly, kind of slowly start to walk away from camp. As she goes by, she just, again, trying to not necessarily make it pull attention to herself, but she does this kind of fake trip thing where she kicks her bow, just kind of skirting it along the road or the log a little bit, and just starts walking slowly away. Victoria, you'll see as Amiri gets in, and you can see this mixture of what appears to be meat, organs, and a mixture of various herbs and flowers. Amiri recognizes something about this and immediately closes it up and turns and starts to head straight towards the water.
I'll follow her. She seems like she knows what she's doing, so.
Those of you in camp see Mara walking away from camp, and you hear this kind of rush of footsteps as Amiri comes rushing back towards camp with this brown stained bag and just tosses it in the water. A big splash. You can see the red mist as the blood hits that. She holds it underneath, almost like throwing more and more water on it. She starts to wash herself off, splashing the dust off her face. She points to you, Victoria. Quick, come wash yourself off.
Yeah, I'll start rinsing my face and everything.
Iridir and Graham, anything you two are doing?
Did I miss something? Graham is asking.
Something with the bag. It wasn't. I don't know, but it released a puff of dust, something, and apparently it's not good for us. So.
No, it's not that it's not good. And she'll kind of look across everyone before eventually seeing Mara, who again kind of slowly moving further and further back. Now this is bait. Wolf
Bait for what?
bait.
Wolf bait.
Now, this is the kind of stuff you leave if you want to bring a frickin' wolf here. Mara, where are you going? And with that, Mara will start to sprint rapidly away. What would you all like to do?
She's fleeing the scene of a crime. Get her.
She definitely appears to be.
I throw the gnome.
Ah, Jesus!
Not me.
Why? Not again.
Get your
Not
shark.
the gnome.
Oh, boundary crashed and now it's back. Okay, cool. You know, Victoria will probably say she looks guilty. You know, why are you running? Why are you running?
You're
Oh,
chase
thanks.
after her.
Yeah, let's see, do I have spells? I'm gonna have Ember follow her, just in case.
What I'd like to do, I'm not actually sure that this is gonna really do much of anything at the moment, but I would like to toss a detect magic up and start heading after her.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's do this. We'll start off with you, Irdir, just to see if you're going to be able to get to her before she has a chance to fully get out. So go ahead and give me an athletics check. It'll be against her acrobats. She's moving more agile through the forest. And does have a bit of a beat on ya. Graham, go ahead and toss up a detect magic as
Oh yeah.
we are going to enter to a form of initiative.
Oh, she's probably way over there, isn't she?
Yep. And go ahead and place it where you're wanting to place it. Are you doing it off yourself, or are you kind of
It's an
targeting
emanation, so it comes off of me.
off of you? Okay. You're picking up
Or we-
a little bit of magic coming from Lindsay. You're getting nothing from Valerie. You're not picking up any signs from like the camp itself. And you don't have anything from even though she's a little bit further away, you don't have anything from like a trail or a track from her indicating a sign of magic.
I was basically trying to see if she was under anything's influence, because this is the partner, the one dude, yeah?
Yeah. Yep, this is the same one, but again, just for since it's been a little while, for extra context. When you all had been at the Hunter's Lodge, Ogden had told you that Rogan is the big bad from Restov, the one that had assaulted the keep. Rogan had arrived with 5 people. You came into contact with the druid, the spider. You saw the big burly gentleman and the small injured woman at the camp, but he described the other two as a fair-haired woman and her dark-haired, more secretive, rough-face-skinned male partner who had ventured out to hunt and had actually been supplying pelts recently.
Okay.
So, that being said, because she definitely appears to be trying to run the heck out of here, let's go ahead and roll some initiative. I would say, Irdir, if you want to use your strength for your initiative, that's fine. Graham, I would say perception for you and Victoria like normal. would work for the time being. I'm going to have the companions just kind of waiting to react, as they're not quite sure. They don't have the big breakdown that you do. But yeah, definitely that that bag and Irdir, as Amiri is describing it, probably would make a little bit more sense for you. If you want to attract wolves, you can definitely do that through smell, and putting it up in a high place so that the wind catches it and carries it further definitely makes sense. But why you would want to do that right next to your camp, that does not seem like a very smart thing to do.
It will not let me roll initiative based on strength.
You might have to do it from your sheet to change initiative.
If you go to your extras, do your athletics.
Athletics.
Yep, my bad.
Is there an initiative button?
Yep,
somewhere
if you go
in
under extras, the 3 boxes on the right,
3 boxes.
there? Oh, okay.
and then at the very top it has the drop down for if you
I
are
could just
able
earn
to.
income. Got
You,
it.
you can get a job right here in the water.
Yeah. I'm perfect. See
Totally,
you later.
totally could. And since you are in initiative, you will get your rage effect, and I believe that the immunity. Yep, put that on as well.
Yeah, we're immune now.
Victoria, I think we're just waiting for your roll.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've been talking about it, but I didn't bother doing it.
One day.
Oh, nice. All right.
Take that initiative roll. What did I? Jeez, what did I roll?
You
That was
rolled a
19
big
plus a
ol' number. So Victoria, you are up to start. Now you had said you'd sent Ember kind of in that direction, so I have Ember over here. A little, took off and flew away from you.
Yep, Ember's kind of following her. Man, really kind of. She's running, so she's guilty.
Sure,
Victoria is still kind of black and white on some of those things.
makes sense.
So she's gonna lash out a little bit, and she's gonna use a force barrage.
Okay. Well, let's do it.
How many actions do I have? Do I have 2 or 3?
3.
3. Okay, so I'm gonna cast it 3 times then.
Oh goodness. Okay. Well, Victoria's not playing.
Well, it's only 1d4 plus 1
Yeah.
for each. Maybe I'll cast it twice. We'll just cast it twice. There's 1. How do I roll it more than once?
I think you just roll the damage 3 times.
Roll damage.
Now, real fast, I want to check out, because you are firing through trees. I want to just read through this.
It automatically hits.
You choose the target for each target individually. You shoot more than one, blah, 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 blah. The damage before applying bonuses and penalties to damage resistance, weaknesses, and so forth.
Helps if I think this is her over here, right? Yeah. So I'll target her first before I do the damage. Okay, there we go. Is there a way to do more than 1?
No, I think you just have to roll it 3 times.
Oh, I could do 2d4. Yeah, oh. There's 1.
No!
Here, have the second.
Why are you doing this? I just needed to use the restroom. The wine's coming down real bad.
Well,
Ask for the hall pass.
you know what? Fine, have the 3rd. No hall pass, no escape.
Oh, it's gonna be the 3rd floor as the cry.
Ah!
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's
Okay. Yeah, as she's running, just slice, 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 starting to bleed, trail behind her. Ear, raging.
Yeah, you're just gonna charge after her and attempt to tackle her.
Okay, makes sense.
Would that be grapple or would that be, is there a different one?
It depends. Are you trying to grab or trip? It would be one of those.
Just
I guess
suplex her.
grab, yeah, grab would be more fitting.
Sure.
So, grapple.
That would be a grapple.
Leon Sanity suplex.
Or you can do a Chris Redfield and just punch the boulder.
All expenses.
Wow.
Free trip to Suplex
Good.
City.
I
yeah.
don't. Let's see.
What is that? Did you target her?
I did.
Mm,
Was targeted.
Okay.
no, I didn't roll a
Targeted.
target, so that's all good. I will roll her forward.
Question marks. Got it. Wow.
Okay.
Hey. I think you
That's
win.
right on the mark. She is grabbed.
I love that
Stop!
we're playing
Stop!
discipline
I'm not
time.
doing anything. Stop! Let me go. You have 2 more actions.
Suplex. Followed by another suplex.
What are the
And another
rules
suplex.
for walking with someone who's grappled? Is that not a thing, or is that a thing?
Are you
I would
taking her hostage?
say it'd probably be half movement. For equal side, yeah, I would say half movement. If it's a size bigger, then it goes down further than that.
Okay. Yeah. So then, after Andrew grabs her, he's gonna try and, I guess it'd be considered a trip. So like take her to the ground, I guess.
Okay.
I like how you went for the simple, like, resolve, and I'm like, nah, blow her up.
Unfortunately, she is
Takes all time.
more agile than she is strong, so she actually sees you going for the trip and like just jumps and pushes back, kind of using the log for a little bit of leverage, just squirming. The blood is starting to kind of make her feel a little oily, kind of getting slippery in your grasp. I think that's your 3.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Graham.
Suplex her. Suplex them both
Yeah,
with your
I was-
-1 strength.
I'll just run up behind her and we'll schoolboy her onto the ground.
Just start shaking her shins.
Tabletop.
Dang. Yeah, I haven't got a great, yeah. Anyway, I will,
Gonna play us a sick beat.
yes. I think I will, though. Like, unironically, I do think that now we're kicking off, so, go ahead and do a little inspiring courage.
Yeah,
Which
thanks, I was drinking. I think I'll go ahead and do that, yeah.
Yeah, I will then. Oops, geez. Lag. Okay. Down. And then I guess I'll take my last action to just move up a little closer to the fray,
Okay.
which puts me here-ish. And oh yeah, the emanation isn't. Wow. Holy God.
Hey, Graham, chill on the wild beats.
Man, throwing in mushrooms.
Or
and-
that's my grave, actually.
Oh yeah, you see that tower right there, Cobb? We blew somebody's head up right there.
Sure did.
Oh yeah, yeah. He didn't care for that.
Yeah.
Was not a fan.
Yeah.
Okay. So that takes us to Mara, who again is begging, please, please stop, let me go. I'm not doing anything, let me go. And she is going to attempt to escape. She's gonna give it a try, at least. No, I do have an NPC selected, in fact. Escape. A 27's gonna do that. No more of this. No more grabbed. No more grabbed. Let's see. So now move. She's going to move. There. She doesn't have her bow. So yeah, she's just gonna keep running. She's just gonna spend another. Come on, where's my. There we go. Going there. Runny, runny, runny. She doesn't want to be here. Now, as all this happens, I think Lindsay and Amiri kind of react to the very brief moment of Irdir grabbing her and she's screaming. Lindsay's kind of like, well, what's going on? And Valerie draws her sword and just kind of stoically walks forward. They're not engaging or trying to stop, but they're definitely aware of the situation. That takes us back up to Victoria.
You're not guilty. Why are you running? Get back here.
I just needed to use the restroom.
So I can see how long. Wait a minute.
If you click or are you trying to measure your movement?
Yeah.
Or go to your ruler.
God, that's so. I gotta zoom in so I can actually read it. Stupid. 30. She's what from me? She's 90?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Da, da, da. So let's see. 30. And then I think that's 30 right here. Like that's another 30. That should be 60. Oh no, I wanted to move. I gotta zoom out.
If you hold control and then click, it'll allow you to set a pivot point.
I couldn't see. That was too zoomed in, trying to read the numbers. There. I want to go there.
Going right there will put a tree right between you two.
Will it?
So you'd probably want to go like there or there.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. Like right here. I'm gonna go. Wow, now I gotta. Problem with having a big screen is that I can't see what I'm doing.
First world problems.
Too large.
And then.
And since you're now in that fray, give yourself the Inspire of the Courage.
Yay, courageous.
You are super courageous.
And then I'm gonna hit her with a needle of vengeance.
No, not again. Please.
Quit running!
I don't want to be here.
Pass.
We've been trying to reach you about your automobile warranty.
Your cart warranty is expired.
Ooh, she succeeds on the will save. You try to get in my mind, but it is a steel box. I don't think it has any half. Name yourself one of the alibi. It takes 3 mental damage anytime it uses hostile against it. Name a creature with a We'll save. Yeah, unfortunately, she deflected.
How dare she?
She said, "Nope, I took my Tylenol today."
Well, that's it.
Okay. You're there. She escaped. But you're feeling briefly encouraged by this small gnome bard behind you.
Huh.
He has the fattest beats.
Rad.
Big beats only.
Well,
I'm just double checking something really quick.
bully her. He hasn't quite gotten out of range yet.
Yeah, you're just gonna run after her, take double here. Yeah. 35 times 2 is 70, so 65. 55. I can't read numbers today.
It's
And
okay.
he's gonna hit her in the head.
Oof.
Just a solid, just right hook.
Ouch.
And attempt to knock her unconscious.
Dang.
An 18. Can I click on her? Can I see? I will say, unfortunately, an 18 is not going to be quite enough. Her AC is a little bit higher.
God, she's quick.
She is quick.
That ends my turn.
All right.
Helps if I click the end turn button. Forgot to say. My bad. I made the Yu-Gi-Oh joke.
Hey, Graham, what would you like to do now? Your music be good, but she's still getting away.
What's my... It's just one action to keep it up. Let me double check that, though. Oh, damn. No, I actually have to keep doing it.
Yeah, it is a every turn if you want.
It's only one action, though. I don't know
It
why
is.
I read that it's two. For whatever reason, I read that as two actions when I first did it. I could have gotten up a little closer. But anyways, yeah, no, we're still jamming out here, and I will continue to try to catch up to the action. Bringing my fat tunes with me. So,
I don't like your
that is
music.
pretty much me. It's great. Shut up. It's good for you.
Good for your health.
Okay. Well, for her
Chasing her down.
Yeah. Listen to me play.
action, she's going to need to succeed an acrobatics check to get across the river, because that is good old difficult terrain.
Tips, please.
Oh, is that why you're giving me issues? I see now, Foundry. I see and I understand. I'm not happy about it, but I understand.
Miss. Don't get to eat my dinner, kiddo.
Uh-huh.
You think so?
An 18 will work. As soon as she gets across, she reaches into one of her side pockets and she pulls out this small piece of wood. It's kind of this cylindrical thing. And she will put it up to her mouth and she blows. And you don't really hear anything but the breath. Just this blowing sound. Victoria and Graham, since you have a little bit, your hearing is just a little bit higher, you definitely get the very, very, very high pitch sound coming from it. And almost in immediate response, deep in the woods back behind you, you hear the sound
No, doggo.
of what appears to be more than one wolf howling in succession.
If not friend, why friendship?
Exactly.
Victoria.
If not suplexable, why suplex shaped? Well, if she had even bothered to, say something or instead of just sprinting, we wouldn't be having.
She's
this
been
issue.
begging for you all to stop.
Yeah, but she hasn't said why.
You haven't told her why you're attacking her.
Don't run.
Don't run. We don't like joggers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no jogging.
Definitely,
Did you
yeah.
tell we're all out of shape?
The California
I'm a bard. We don't do jogging.
I'm gonna yell at her to quit running. Why are you running?
Stop following me. They'll be here soon. Let me go and I'll take them with me. If you kill me, this place will look just like it did before the brothers cleaned it.
Who are we killing now?
Question.
Now see, Victoria takes that as a threat, and now I no longer feel bad.
Valid.
So Victoria will target her and hit her with some metal darts.
Do it.
Jesus.
Attack. Roll +10. Wow. I don't like that.
Uh-oh.
No, we're gonna hero point
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Throws it completely off
that.
course.
Until you are healed, you are stupefied. That wouldn't be
using
good.
hero. I'm not stupefying
Yeah,
nothing.
that wouldn't be a good one.
Get bullied.
21.
That
doubled it.
is a hit. Roll your damage. That is a lot of damage.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Blood splat on the ground. She bleeding now. Things are bad.
Nah, it's fine.
Was
Walk it off.
that was 3 actions, right?
Two for
Talking
needle dot. Two for needle dots.
I didn't know if talking was an action or not.
No. If you try to do something with your talk, like, I'm gonna try to intimidate, then yes, that would be an action. But if we just role playing, we just role playing.
Is this a rock or is this a?
It's like a muddy patch of, stuff. It's difficult terrain. It's
Athletics check might not be good for me to cross the river.
yeah, you get to choose athletics or acrobatics. It's either I'm balancing across the river or I'm jumping across the river.
Why can't I fly?
Why can't I fly?
Or I
Ember.
could just do like a trained performer and jump across. and do a
Sure, you do
performance
have something that can fly, that you can
Yeah.
command to do something.
check. I don't know what Ember's like range is.
Ember has a movement speed of
Land speed is 25, but is that
What's his air speed?
what's the air speed of an unladen swallow?
Raven. Raven has a no, that can't be right. A fly of 40.
Ah, okay. Well, then I will have him move his 40 that direction.
You should be able to move him.
Yeah. There we go. I'm just gonna start sending Ember after her, but that's the end of my turn now.
Okay. Mr. Iridir, she is bleeding. She is panicked. She is holding on to that piece of wood for dear life. She can barely stand. She's listening. She thought Mary was going to be her friend, but Mary's just standing back.
In the water.
Can you just like Scottish log toss something at her? Just
I don't want to kill her.
I'm not trying to kill her either. I just happen to be violent.
I'm just not trying to kill.
I'm really
But if it
not
happens,
trying.
it
I'm really,
happens.
that's why we only wanted to do 2 force attacks, but
Okay. How does intimidation causes fleeing, or
it might depend on how you're using it.
So if you're trying to demoralize, they don't have to necessarily flee right away, but they are going to have a desire, because it's like the fear is just a temporary thing.
Okay.
The sooner they get away from it, the sooner they can go. Now, if it depends on the level of success as well. So if they get like a critical fear, then they are frightened and fleeing. But in general, they are just frightened, which means they have a -1 on any of their rolls for that next turn.
Okay. I'm actually going to coerce and try and like coerce her into like not running. That Irdir would promise her that if she stayed, he would not hurt her, and explained her actions or explained why she is running.
Okay.
The severe finger point. Quit running. Again, why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are we running?
Yeah, okay. She'll kind of get down to one knee. It's not all of you. Just stop. I can fix myself, but you have to let me go. If I die here, what's coming for you cannot be stopped.
Shit, it's still my turn, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Brought this upon yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, Irdir would kind of try and cross the river or the stream here and just like walking towards her.
Okay.
As opposed to running.
She just kind of has, again, this look, because you still have the sweat. You're still clearly raging, breathing hard. You know, every footfall kind of lands with a heavy thump. She, is on her knees, kind of moving back. She has this look of ferocity, but also like panic. I can't die here. I can't die here.
Why would you die here, of all places?
You did this to me. All of you. For nothing.
What is coming?
I have friends in these woods. I've trained them well. Let me leave, and I will call them off.
Why not just call them off now?
I do not trust you. I will not trust you till you're no longer within my sight, till I can no longer smell your foul scent, till I know that I'm free from these dishonorable mentions.
Okay, first of all, ouch.
Why? What did they do?
She just looks at like the bleeding wounds in her body and back to you like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm bleeding because of you.
No, I just got here. What did they do?
Just firing metal needles at you. I didn't do anything.
Look, I can't. I don't know what the dishonorable mentions did. I don't know. I just got here. Like, why are they so dishonorable? What happened? Why did you run to begin with? Like, what did this gnome do?
I don't know. Let's see what the gnome's going to do. Unless, Erdo, did you have still one more?
I do, but that's it.
I mean, she has not fully given up. So I don't want to take anyone's actions quite yet. And she's also not been convinced to call off her allies quite yet.
Yes, that is it. I will
Okay.
not waste her, because I do not want to take her to Suplex City yet. She is still redeemable.
All right, Graham. She's slowed, but she seems pretty pissed off. And she's calling you all names. Bad names. Dishonorable mentions. That's like calling your mom fat.
Yeah, rude.
Why is she so mad at you?
That's what I would like to know. Like, I'm sorry, but my last dealings with you, I recall we just shared some meat at a campsite. What have we done to offend you so?
Again, she looks down at the fact that she's almost bleeding out with this "what the fuck are you talking about" expression.
Well, you're the one who kind of placed the trap bag in our camp, so I think that a little
In your
concern is warranted.
camp,
here.
you claim this camp is your own? That's why you must be stopped. This forest is not to be claimed. Not by you. Not by any noble. Not by that fucking elven princess. Not by any of you. This nature is to be left alone.
I see.
Well,
So you're
excuse me, princess.
one of the.
Makes sense to me.
Just got here, man. I want to go back to my books. Wait.
I'm trying to remember. She was not with the stag, right? She wasn't, or she was.
There are implications that she might be. There is someone very similar to her appearance that Ogden says arrived with Rogan. The problem is you're not quite sure how deep Rogan is. Like, is he his own just lieutenant with his own people? Are everyone in Rogan's group part of the Stag Lords? Like, there's a big unknown thing. So if she is that person, and if Rogan says, you work for me, you work for the Stag Lord, then yes, she works or could work for the Stag Lord. If she is not that person, or if Rogan does not require all of his people to follow the Stag Lord, then no, she could just be another hunter who happened to arrive at the same time as Rogan because she and her partner are hunters and he's building a hunter's lodge. You don't have something you could put her on trial for yet.
Right, right. But I do have something I can ask her about.
Sure.
So, before we call this all off, I've got to admit that we found some documentation from the Stag Lord that seemed to indicate you might be one of his men. And knowing that, I feel like we've done our best to treat you as fairly as we could.
She will actively kind of separate the leather bindings from around her neck a little bit, kind of revealing the center part of her chest. Do you see that stupid fucking amulet around my neck? You make accusations because of what? As you said the last time we met, we fed you. Yes, I was walking away from camp. That means I deserve to die?
Well, that was an extreme reaction on the behalf of my companions. I do apologize for that. But you must admit, things are a little tense around here as of late, and we're used to seeing betrayal everywhere we turn.
Fine. Keep the fucking magician the hell away from me. Give me something for my wounds, and I might explain myself. But if I see any more aggression come my way, I will bring the fury, the rage of this forest down upon your heads.
I think that's a fair enough bargain. Have I taken any actions this turn?
Nope, you've just
Believe that I have.
talked.
Alright, I would, if you'll forgive me, I promise, what I'm doing is meant only to aid you, to fix up some of these wounds that you have. I will begin to, cast, it is called
Indeed it is.
So I have to get a little closer to her so I'm within 30, but I'll
Sure.
totally do that. And yeah.
Road healing. Oh, okay.
Alright.
Nice.
Feeling kind of soothed. And a +2 status to save against mental effects. Isn't that exciting?
In case there's any more headaches coming her way.
Yep.
How dare.
Irdir,
Sorry, I thought it was poison.
you will feel like the sense of warmth almost wrap around you, and she takes this deep breath. You can see the wounds already kind of starting to solidify. The bruise is not fading. She closes her eyes and kind of just looks up to you with this almost set expectation, that fierce thing of like, take a step back yourself. We're gonna move out of the encounter if Aradir will allow her at least a little bit of space. That's up to you.
Yeah, he kind of moves around like this way and just kind of sits on the back of the wagon almost, like just right here, just like up in it, if that makes sense, like on the steps or whatever, like that little whatchamacallit.
She will pull out the wooden whistle once more, this time blowing in it like 3 very quick blows. since you are potentially close as Victoria, if you want to give me a perception based off hearing, see if you pick up anything in response.
Do they have a?
No, it's more just it should. Well,
I'll just do
actually,
a perception check. I don't think there's a hearing thing.
yeah. No, just give me a secret perception.
Question marks.
These wolves have definitely gotten closer to the point like you don't see them, but they are right outside of camp. But you definitely pick up something more than just the wolves. There's this deep guttural kind of chuffing sound. The sound of like the branches and the leaves cracking sound relatively soft for the other wolves, but whatever this other larger thing is, big, heavier footsteps. They stop. You hear the deep growl and the slow kind of movement away, almost as if they're cautiously trying to sneak. But there was something with these wolves that's definitely bigger than these wolves and has a deeper sound than the rest of the wolves. She'll look to all of you, put the whistle in her pocket, and just comes and sits down. Look, I can put on a smile, I can sit at a table, but all you cultured city types, you frankly, you just annoy the hell out of me. And I knew you wouldn't know what the purpose of that bag was. I knew you would see other things in camp and start to ask questions, because you see them as dangerous, you see them as foul, but they're not. It's how we survive. It's how the brothers are learning. It's how they'll be able to be actually intelligent hunters. I could tell the ferocity of that one, she points to Amiri, who I thought we were getting along. I wasn't going to be safe here. I'm never safe around your type. So what are you going to do with me? Because I'm not staying here.
I'm trying to remember, like, what our relationship even was with her, other than just, like, we met.
I think that's literally all it was, is that we met, we shared some food and some stories, and then moved on.
That was it. Yep.
Well, we don't have any intentions. As long as you're not with our enemy, then I see no reason why you shouldn't come and go as you please. I question the way that you went about it, but certainly we've all made errors tonight.
Do you realize where you are? Do you realize where you stand? Who is or who's not your enemy? You all come here with a piece of paper with the handprint of some princess of a rich and noble city with instructions to kill without question. What you consider to be banditry is survival for most. Yes, there are evil bandits. There are evil men in this land. But there is desperation here. And desperation leads to surviving in whatever mean they can. So you claim you have an enemy in this place. Are you not making it all your enemy? Do you not feel the change this forest has with the death that was brought to this camp? The animals skittish, flee at the sound of us. What do you think that does for hunters? Makes our jobs a whole hell of a lot harder.
But what of the hunters who get set upon by bandits and slain? Those are the ones we're fighting for.
How many hunters are slain by bandits? I know the kind of bandits that roam these woods. They don't target hunters. They target folks like you, the caravans, the merchants. They take advantage of those that can give them something. Attacking hunters might give them a nightly meal. Working, trading with hunters might sate their stomachs for weeks to come. You act as if just because they have bandit as a description, they must be stupid. Many of us who have lived in these woods, lived in the green belt, have learned how to set our own rules. Society gets comfortable behind its tall walls, gets comfortable with the order of those that wield the biggest weapons and the thickest armor. If they tell us what to do and we obey, then we are safe. And that is not true at all. Your eyes are blind to the reality of this situation. Take time to truly listen to the woods. Observe the creatures within. See that this is not all a big game of death. It's a game of survival.
And what of the people who get slain? What of the merchants that you seem to be implying have no particular right to live any more than yourselves do? What about them?
Do you proclaim so much for the soldiers that are lost at war? Where are you from, gnome?
Soldiers at war sign up to be in war. Merchants trying to make a living are just trying to make a living. There is a big difference there.
Again, it must be so comfortable to be able to sign up for the possibility to die instead of living every day as if it will be such. I do not agree with the slaughter of man, but I will not judge those that do so for the sake of their own survival. As I've said, those that kill for torture, those that kill for sadism or for satisfaction are evil. But much like those bandit brothers who've told me about the pond, about the ones they killed, many do it because they cannot think of a better option. Yes, it might be backed by rage. It might be backed by vengeance. It might be backed by a lack of understanding. But it's not a hope, it's not a wish, it's not a desire to kill. I see what you all threaten this land with. Is this the kind of kingdom we look forward to? Violence first. Everyone must be a criminal if they do not stand and obey.
I think you're vastly misrepresenting things.
I
We've come
was
out here to bring
walking.
stability to this place.
Stability.
Ask the people whose lives we've saved.
Ah, yes.
If we asked for anything unreasonable for them in return.
The good Levinsons, again protected behind their lovely tall walls. Their many suppliers of goods. Very hard life for them.
I think you seem to misunderstand that the struggle that you face daily isn't the only kind of struggle that there is.
I think you and I have the same thoughts about each other. She'll turn back to you, Iridir. You're not from the cities. I can tell. Do you not see the danger they bring to nature?
I'm being yelled at by a cat. I have to feed them.
Go for it.
While my lands and these lands are vastly different, I'm unfamiliar with them and your practices and what it takes to get by here. Where I come from, it's very barren and open, and nature takes a very different form.
How would your family react if a king from a neighboring civilization handed out documents to a bunch of little lords to set out into your clan, into your land, and try to bring society and stabilization to it?
We would not stand for this. We are a nomadic people. We are ruled by only ourselves.
And she'll turn towards Victoria, piercing gaze in her eyes. And what evil, foul deed did I do to you to deserve such a punishment?
Oh, the poison from the bag?
What are you talking about? There was no poison in that bag. Yes, it was hung, so my friends knew where I was. It was not set there as a danger. It was set there for my protection. But someone from the city wouldn't know that.
I'm just reacting off the information I have.
What information? What danger was I bringing you that required that kind of assault? Yes, was I running from camp? I absolutely was. Why? Because I didn't want to deal with a bunch of civilized folk when they came across something natural they didn't understand.
Can't help you there. You could have explained it.
Did you not see how rapidly she charged with that bag towards the water as if her entire head was on fire?
Exactly why I reacted the way I did.
If I'd wanted to kill you all, I would have waited until you were drunk, until you were sleeping, called my friends in, had a nice, lavish dinner. I didn't. I sat, I listened, I told my stupid, silly story. And yes, I panicked. I do that sometimes when I'm around strange individuals.
Victoria will just kind of shrug. Reacted with the information I had. Did I over-exaggerate? Possibly. Could you have explained yourself? Yes.
Explain what? Hey, city folk, I have a bait bag hanging nearby camp because I have a group of furry friends that I like to keep nearby. That would have garnered a simple understanding? I don't believe so. It's very clear you all come with assumptions.
Seems so to you.
I go off only what I see and what I've heard.
I think Victoria's the only, city folk here. Well, maybe Lindsay, but...
Graham is not
Graham
really...
is too.
Graham's city folk too.
Like 3 of the, 12
I mean,
people that are
Satoshi
actually
is
here?
definitely... There's... The only people in this party that are not city folk are Eridir and Amiri. Everyone else came from a very big city.
Still could have explained yourself. You could have explained it to Amiri.
She didn't have any problem. Sure, I didn't point it out to her, but it's not like she went immediately going to find any potential strange things she could find in the woods. The brothers saw me put it up. They didn't have an issue with it. I explained it to them because they understand what this land is. We can fear nature. We can hunt nature. We can control nature. And when Roderick is away, I like to keep nature close at hand. Would you have truly understood if I told you I had the ability to summon a pack of wolves at my beck and call at any point? Would you not have considered that to be a threat?
No, unless you threatened us with them.
I know that I cannot stop your pursuit. I have no desire to. I know of these evil men that wander the woods and their desire to control it for themselves, and simply I have no desire for them to succeed either, but I will not abide the rules of those that don't understand. They are no longer in their society. If you truly want to bring society here, you can't do that with a forceful fist. Explore these woods long enough, you will find the ruins of the past civilizations who have tried to do exactly that. You're not the first to try to claim this little part of the world. Many seem to have tried in the past, and they're no longer there. Many things in these woods will be skittish, will be secretive, and will have more than one foul flaw.
Bring law to the lawless.
She just looks down, kind of defeated. Your laws.
Well, your laws have allowed traitors and innocents to be killed.
And yours haven't?
Not without due process.
She,
Not all laws are perfect. Ours are better than sicking wild animals on things.
I've lived in a city. I was there during the Isian conflict. I saw what happens when those who make the laws decide to enact them on their people. I saw my father get drafted, never spoke to him again. My mother kidnapped. I saw what happens when good, decent society twists its laws. Those laws won't work out here. These people don't fear jail. Many don't fear death. They fear finding their next meal. They fear finding shelter when those harsh storms come through. They fear the howl of the owlbear. They don't fear chains. They don't fear the hangman's noose. Law without fear? I don't think such things can exist. So find something better.
We owe it to the people to try and protect them.
You keep speaking of others. I've been wandering these woods for many years. You act like there's this grand civilization that is out here. Your concern is not those that dwell within these woods. You haven't met them. You haven't found them. If you did, you would realize they're not the ones being assaulted. It's those that travel upon your civilized, lovely road from one hot spot of money and greed to another. Do not act like what you bring here is a golden platter of future success for those that truly live here. You're simply building a wall to keep those that may affect your rich friends and those that bring the large sums of wealth to your lavish cities. Get them safe, get them protected. It is not about this. It is not about us.
I don't know, man. You seem to be making it a lot about you. Why can't we just include everybody? Why can't we be here to protect everybody?
Your protection ends in death. You cannot protect everybody if somebody must die because of it.
Oh, I've seen ways around death. We can make liches.
Nope.
Undead. You know, we can fix these things. I've read books.
You think this is all a joke? I asked before, I'll ask once again. What is your plan with me? I have no desire to stay here any longer. I will find Roderick. I will tell him of what occurred here. and you will not have to worry about us ever again.
Uh-oh.
If that's what you want, then we won't stop you.
What I want? I want to go back to an hour ago where I was sitting comfortably having a good laugh with someone I thought could be a friend. But I can't go back there. Not while you're here.
Do what you feel is best, given what all has transpired. We won't hinder you. That's not what we're here for, despite what you may think.
As she goes and walks by you, Graham, she'll just lean over and whisper, "It seems you all might want to sit down and think about what you all want out here. Because it doesn't seem like you're all on the same page." Now, she does take a couple steps forward, but she stops, and she will look back towards Iridir and Victoria. "If you will allow me, I would like to go retrieve my bow and my pack. I will not draw it. It will be on my shoulder. There will be no escalation. My dear lords," and she'll do this sarcastic bow, "do I have your permission to gather my equipment?"
Graham just gestures in the direction of that stuff. I told you, we won't hinder you.
Yeah.
No
Victoria will
interest
just kind of gesture that direction and then curtsy.
Sounds good. So she'll head over, begin to grab her stuff. She gives a look over to Amiri, who's kind of made her way back to camp, and it's just a little kind of sad look. Amiri just kind of, not aggressively, but just kind of snuffs in that direction. She will take one last look around camp and begin to walk off, following the stream further away, and after a couple minutes, you lose the sound of her footfall. Amiri will, kind of as she's watching her, "I knew there was something wrong with her. She was always just, she was listening too much. Like, you know, listening's good, but she was jumping at every sound."
Yeah. That sort of barely masked contempt and disgust it is a problem. I hope she finds whatever it is she's after out here, though.
She had said a couple things. I was trying to. I didn't get a chance to meet Roderick, I think his name is. I don't think he's a very good fit for her. Gets in her ear, gives her a bunch of bad ideas. Kind of hoping, now that I think about it, he's not doing the same to the brothers. They're boys. I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, probably.
She did have something scarier than a wolf with her, though.
Valerie will look up, kind of raised eyebrow. "What do you mean?"
Something much louder than a wolf was just outside of camp before she blew her whistle. Something big and stumpy.
Mary will.
direction did he come from?
Victoria can
Sure.
point it out. It's kind of close to where the bag was.
Huh.
Well, Valerie will kind of stand and just look across the place. Look, I still don't trust her, and to be honest, this place does have a not so great feel to it. I'm not sure how much we want to travel tonight, but if we are going to camp here, perhaps Erdir, you wouldn't mind assisting me with a quick walk around camp. Make sure there's no more of these hidden bags or any other potential dangers just beyond the light.
Of course.
She'll look to Graham and Victoria. That is, if we plan to stay.
Is staying here the greatest idea?
Well, actually, how late in the day is it?
It's 1:30.
Oh, so we've got time, right?
Sure.
Like, we
We could
can
probably-
skedaddle. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could probably roll out somewhere, but I mean, if we're gonna abandon the camp, we might tell the brothers too at some point.
It sounds like, well,
If they're coming back.
yeah, that's what I wonder about. Kind of seems like they might be howling about with Mara and Roderick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do they know how to read?
Not really. If I remember correctly, that is right, isn't it?
No, yeah, Joe has like maybe a second grade reading understanding. He can get some of the words, but he prefers pictures.
That's what I was gonna suggest was Lindsay draw pictures.
I mean, we could stay the night. We'll just do a guard order, I guess. You know.
And just see if they come back.
Yeah, just to see if the brothers, if they don't come back tonight, we'll
Okay.
move on. We've already got a clearing here, and we've already got the wagons all like hitched up and everything. We might as well stay here.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, in that case then, even though it's a little bit early, let's see, how do I show this to everybody? Where is my show option? There we go. Let's go ahead and talk about camping. So this is going to be a little new for you,
prefer glamping.
Cobweb. Did the page show up for you all?
It did, yeah.
Cool. Apparently they've updated it. It's got a nice, pretty background now.
Oh yeah, that's fancy.
Very, very shiny.
Where's my mouse? There it is.
So the way that camping works is there's a mixture of activities that you're able to do. These activities are both how you can set up the camp in a way that it's less likely to have something sneak into it. You're less likely to have danger, but you're also able to do things that will help you prepare for the next day, whether that is making a specific meal or telling a campfire story. There's things like that. You also have the ability to almost partner with some of your companions as you get more influence with them, as they have additional kind of special skills and abilities that they're able to either teach or kind of do for you to, you know, in some ways, like Valerie, she can help repair some items. She can kind of give guidance on that. So if you have like a shield specifically that gets damaged, she can help give some guidance on how you repair that, kind of get some of those hit points back. And so there's kind of a stage on how this gets done. So I need to reset everything. You already have the campsite, so normally the very first thing you would have to do is locate the right campsite. You already have that, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, the other things that you can do at this point, bolster confidence. That's going to be Lily's, or Lindsay's special move. So she's able to basically give everyone an additional circumstance bonus. Camouflaging the campsite decreases the DC, so it makes it a little harder for something to sneak in. Cooking a meal, and depending on the meal that you select, can give different kind of bonuses. Meals do have unique ingredients that they need sometimes, so we can talk about that. Hunt and gather if you're wanting to get more supplies. Learn from a companion, organize, watch, tell a campfire story. These are all different things that you can do. Now, I prefer if the players kind of decide first what they're wanting to do, and then I'll have the NPCs fill in from there. So, what in particular, what kind of tasks are each of you doing?
It went away.
Oh, cool. Wait a minute. Wait one oh my goodness.
What? This is
Oh
That's cool.
my goodness.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
we got new
Foundry,
zones.
why you gotta be so cool?
That is pretty dope.
It is, yeah.
Let's
I ain't
see.
even a little bit mad.
Okay, we're back. We're back in the right place. We got those woods now.
I don't know. I feel like I could probably camouflage the campsite, or maybe organize a watch.
I was gonna say I could either hunt and gather, organize the watch.
I sure as heck can't cook. Cooking is like a insane DC check that I can't.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
crazy
it
high
is.
that I remember.
I mean, we're higher level now. We could probably get it, but I still don't. I'll
It
just eat
depends.
We're not that much higher level.
It depends on the meal that you're cooking. A basic meal has, a DC 22 survival check, DC 18 cooking check. So that's the one that definitely has a higher. But if you are cooking special meals, it depends on the meal itself. And I think the meals that you have access to.
Or just haggis.
Oh god, yeah, fucking haggis.
Let's
That's all
see,
we got
where.
is haggis.
So how does discovering a special meal go again?
We just run next to a
You
bot.
spend 2 hours attempting to discover a special recipe. You can basically, let's see, do I actually have all of the recipes in an easy to look at place?
I could also do that one.
Oh, let's let the new guy cook the meal. We've all had a
No.
turn at it.
Meal
Not cook.
effects.
No, you have to cook in order to discover the meal.
Kingmaker meals. I might have to create a
There's
guide
another,
for
there's another
it.
gig on the hard drive.
Right. Well, I'm wondering why there isn't an easy. Maybe I'm missing something.
Maybe it's something that people don't do a lot of.
No, I definitely see it. Just with the change in. With the change of this sheet.
Baked spider legs. Chocolate ice cream?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Do you all have a three dots at the top right?
Yes.
Click that, and then do you have a recipes option?
Favorite meals.
No, just favorite meals and help.
Ooh, there are a lot of favorite meals though.
Oysters.
Okay. Well, right now, I have you all You have a basic meal, hearty meal, jeweled rice, fish on a stick, haggis, and rice in pudding. Those are all the ones that you have able to cook at this point.
Jeweled rice sounds pretty good.
If you're wanting to learn others, some of the ones you can learn are succulent sausages, chocolate ice cream, baked spider legs, hunter's roast, sweet pancakes, onion soup, oysters, berry pie, so on and so forth. But you do have a decent amount of selection at this point.
I can move other people's portraits. Nope, I can't. I don't have permission to make Cobb cook.
Too much power. You have too much power.
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna organize the watch here. Oh,
Okay.
I can't move anything. Actor does not satisfy skill requirements to perform organized watch.
You ain't smart enough.
I guess I'll organize the watch.
Can you do it?
You need to be expert in perception.
I am expert in perception.
There you go. You can
Wow.
do it.
I'm
And
only
then-
expert in
It
one
will-
thing.
It will not let me drop myself in.
There we go.
Jeez.
I would do it.
I'm only expert in deception.
Oh, you just have to be trained on all of the other things.
What's in its pockets?
So what is Graham doing?
I am gonna do the thing that Graham was built for
Mm-hmm.
and tell campfire stories.
Absolutely, you will. What about Victoria?
Untrained improvisation.
Oh,
Your proficiency bonus to untrained skill checks is equal to your level minus 2. It's improved your level minus 1 at 5th level. Oh, I don't know what that means. I was looking to see why I picked being deception. Oh, because I can disguises and such. I can disguise myself. Let's. I guess I'll camouflage the campsite.
okay.
I can't update that after that.
Yes, princess has to move us all.
There we go. We're gonna make.
And then as far as meals go, you do have plenty of rations. You can always just eat a ration as well if you don't want someone cooking. I'm not sure if you'd want Amiri or Valerie cooking. Neither of them are trained cooks.
Can't Valerie?
Valerie
hunt
could,
together?
yeah.
And Amiri can learn from companions.
Well, and again, the NPCs don't have to do something.
I know, but Amiri could learn to cook.
She's just going to learn from
That's-
herself.
That's true, actually.
She could learn to cook from Lindsay.
I'm not sure
That's
if
not a
even
bad
Lindsay
plan,
knows how
actually.
to how to cook, but she can hang out. Basically, learn from a companion is you're going to be hanging out, learning about the special activity that they're doing, and then be able to do that as well. So like you have Lindsay who is doing the bolster confidence. That is her special thing. When it comes to Valerie, her thing is maintaining armor. And then when it comes to Amiri, her thing is to have a very long note, to enhance weapons. And so if at least one of them are actively like partaking in that activity, then if you do the learning from companion, you have the possibility of learning how to do it yourself. so that you can actually fill that role moving forward. It doesn't really do anything for companions, but we'll just put her in there. Nope, that's the wrong one. We'll put her in there just for the sake of it. Now, all of this is fairly automated at this point. We go through the process of rolling, starting basically at the top row and then going down to the bottom. Depending on the results of our rolls, that gives me a little of information on what needs to happen kind of in the back of my mind. And then we go from there. So we can make this relatively quick. So let's start off with you, Victoria. Go ahead and roll that stealth.
Stealth. Oh boy, I forgot I picked stealth already. Let's roll a stealth. Public roll?
Yep.
Easy. Yeah, maybe not.
All right. So A10 is unfortunately a failure for this zone.
I can always re-roll it, can't I?
You can, if you'd like to.
Do I have a hero point left? I do.
Only use one.
I would say it has been over
Sure.
an hour, so everybody can go ahead and return one as well if you've used
Yay,
one.
I'm about to use it again. Reroll using hero point. Give me more stealth. That'll work.
Okay, 22. That will take it to a success. We will go for Amiri's Hunt and Gather. And yeah, she's able to get a decent amount. 16 basic and 1 special. So we will add those. And then we'll see how well Valerie is able to learn. Nope, she doesn't learn anything. She...
Dang.
Sorry, I'm already confident enough. Erdir, go ahead and do your organized watch.
We take those.
What watches? Yeah.
22. That is a success.
We steal watches.
We do.
And
That's why we're the dishonorable mentions.
Mr. Graham, go ahead and tell your campfire story. What's the story about tonight? Oh, it goes to nighttime? Oh my goodness. Sorry,
It's just switched to night on the background.
I just had another foundry
Holy crap, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
foundry
pretty darn
explosion.
The story is going to be something about I kind of want it to be something in keeping with what happened today, in case there are anybody who's feeling a little down about the way we kind of left things off with Mara. So something to kind of boost the spirits there about people, being confused and making the wrong choices, but eventually coming around and becoming the better for it. So something like that. Perhaps some poacher, maybe a story about like a poacher or something that turned into a mighty giant slaying hero or something like that.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna go with. And whoopah! Hey, that ain't half bad.
That will work. So everybody will get a +1 status bonus to attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks during combat at the campsite. They end as soon as daily preparations begin.
So if we get jumped overnight, we at least have some. Yeah.
Oh wait, there's even more pages?
What the? This
Lord,
is crazy.
Things.
I don't want anybody to skip a meal.
Oh, yeah, let's not skip a meal.
Yeah, that would be kind of uncool.
Gotta eat.
So how do I... Let me look at eating on the sheet real quick. Give me my manual.
Feed us.
Eating. Yeah, do you have arrows on the side of your screen to like scroll around?
No.
No, that's just me. Cool.
I did when there was like the character icon in the middle. And I don't have no arrows. Consume rations. Oh, I guess I could just consume rations.
Yeah, that's what we will be doing. I think because we didn't cook a meal, it's going to do that automatically. Okay, I'm not sure. We're going to try this. So we have people in watch. We're going to eat. I'm going to click rest.
Apparently we have a lot of
It's going to do some things. It's going to roll
meat
some
and
stuff.
available.
Oh, he's rolling behind that divider.
He's rolling. He's rolling again.
No!
Okay,
Stop it.
why is he flipping all these pages?
There's so many things. Why is he rolling so many dice?
Why do you need 500 d20s?
Why is he picking up a second bag?
Why did the screen fall over? How angry are you?
So as nighttime comes through, you've completed your walk around. You didn't find any other bags, but you did see, it's pretty clear that these wolves have been keeping about a 50 to 60 yard border around the camp. There's leftover paw prints, big tufts of gray fur. Within the camp itself, you don't really find anything beyond what had already been described. It's been as cleaned up as it can be. They're not really storing a ton of stuff there now. So things have been basically stable. As night falls, though, you notice the oddity of the woods. The sound of crickets doesn't really pick up, at least not super close to you. If you hear the hoot of an owl, it's very far away. Nature's just very quiet around this camp. Eridur, you had kind of set watch. What is the order you would have set?
What time, I guess, what is the time from...
So we would have probably from about, well, it depends on how early you want to leave, but with each of you, if all six of you did like an hour each, you could do 9 to, what would that be, 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You could push that a little bit by having some people do 2 hours. So I think that comes down to the sun rises normally about 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning. How soon are you wanting to be up and prepared for it?
We should all be up. Is that first light? Is that 5:30 you said?
Typically, yeah.
How long does it take to pack up everything?
It's probably, I mean, you didn't really unpack a ton. You're just using kind of the mats that are already here. So you could probably bug out within 30.
Okay. So you probably wake up at 4:30.
Trying to kill us.
Okay, no, what do you mean? 9, 10, 11, 12.
Victoria doesn't wake up until 10 or 11.
I'll just pick you up and put you in the cart, Your Highness.
As you should.
I know you witches need your beauty sleep.
Darling, I'm already beautiful.
I would pull a 2-hour shift from midnight till 1, so we do Valerie first for an hour. Then Graham. And then I would go from 11 to 1.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to also do math in my head.
Math is evil. Evil!
Everybody hates math.
I sure do. like me, and I know I am.
Oh god, I forgot Lindsay.
You just do like 2 hours apiece.
Oh no, Lindsay from 9 to 10, Valerie from 10 to 11, Graham from 11 to midnight, Deer from midnight to 2, Valerie from 2 to 3, and then Amari from 2 to 4:30.
Okay.
And that will take us to our...
We've given the soldiers too much responsibility.
Yeah, y'all fucked up.
So,
No, we're fools, I say.
We've given the actual soldier the ability to put us on a duty roster, and I don't agree with it.
Absolutely. That is
No.
the
I'm not
watches
cleaning
go
toilets.
by relatively quickly. Most of you are worn down because you had the active combat situation at the cave. You had this brief skirmish here. You've been traveling all day, so perhaps the quiet helps to ease your mind. You get past midnight. The weather starts to cool. A dark cloud rolls up and over. Distant sounds of thunder can be heard. The smell of rain can be smelt across the wind. It gets towards 2, 3 o'clock, and there's a shift in the wind. Iridir, you are the one up at this point. You're getting towards the end of your watch. You know you're going to have Amiri get up next. Tell me a little bit, what does your watch look like? Well, what does Iridir do? You still kind of around, they're not exact strangers. You've had a chance to kind of get to know them a little bit, to at least be comfortable around them, but they're not your tribe. What does your watch tend to look like?
So his watch, he'll kind of look around and see if anyone's awake, asleep. And he kind of every so often just patrols around the campsite, just looking out into the woods, walking a bit, listening, just to see if there's any movement going around.
Okay.
And he kind of looks up at the sky to see kind of if there's rain coming. Obviously, it's dark and there's thunder.
Looking,
but how far off the clouds are.
if you want to give me I would say a recall knowledge nature check.
There's the roll button.
There's something different about being here in the woods compared to out kind of in the exposed stone of the mountains or in the tall alpines of your homeland. You're used to storms feeling a lot closer as far as being able to reach up and touch them. This one seems like the cloud, it's wrapped around the moon. It's there and it's darkening the light, but it seems so distant from you down here standing upon this ground. And as you really try to listen, it could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 miles away, the sound just carrying that grave distance. You don't feel like there's an immediate storm threat approaching, just the green belt is kind of expressing itself, and perhaps some aspects of the south where things you might know get a bit more swampy might be producing a bit more moisture tonight. But I will say, as you're kind of patrolling around and considering this, you do start to notice a couple things about your companions. Some movement, just a turn from left to right. Amiri kicks her leg out, just like this spasm. You hear Lindsay say something, but you don't catch the words. Just a very brief moment. As you start to look around, like everybody's kind of doing something. Their eyes are moving rapidly. They're kind of squirming ever so slightly. Victoria, you find yourself in the heart of a dark, twisted forest. The trees are massive, gnarled and skeletal, their branches stretching overhead like twisted fingers clawing at a moonless sky. The air is thick and stifling, weighed down by the scent of decay. With each step, your boots sink slightly into the soil, which oozes with a dark tar-like substance that clings to your feet, slowing your movement. You hear a faint whisper call your name from the shadows. You turn. You see Ember, perched on a low branch. But as you reach out, you realize he's lifeless. His eyes hollow and feathers brittle. He stares blankly, unblinking, and it opens its beak. A dark, sticky liquid drips out inside of its caw. She hears her own voice come from its mouth. "You're not welcome here." All around you, the trees begin to pulse as if alive. Within the bark, you start to see pale faces. Faces of people you've known. Others of strangers lost to the greenbelt. Each face is twisted in agony, half buried in the trees like prisoners struggling to break free. You try to run, but your feet are rooted to the ground, the tar-like substance rising around your ankles. The whispers grow louder, accusing and taunting. Shadows creep closer, surrounding you, each one the ghost of a person you couldn't save, bound to the trees forever. Just as the shadows close in, the ground beneath her shifts. You hear a hollow voice whisper, "You will join us. All who tread here will." Please give me a will save.
No. My future come to haunt me in the past of my future.
I know how they do this one, I think.
There's a button for will save somewhere.
17. Oh, that was... Sorry, Iridir, that was for Victoria. Good job, though, on yours, though. Your mind state, you're like, what are these people doing? Like, you're squirming.
Freaking out for no reason.
For no reason.
I'm trying to find the it's this button.
Oh, I
That's
heard
why.
let's make a will save and what I thought we were talking about me.
17.
Hey, 21 will work. Okay. You resist the incursion of your mind. You jolt awake, your heart racing with the memory of those dead, the accusing faces still fresh in your mind. Graham,
Yes.
you're wandering in a misty forest, but something feels off. There's a silence so deep it swallows every sound. As you move through the fog, you notice the ground is scattered with wilted flowers, their petals dull and gray, as if all life has been drained from them. The mist swirls around you, closing in, forcing you down a narrow, winding path lined with withered trees that seem to breathe with a slow, shallow rhythm. Suddenly, you see tiny, glimmering lights up ahead. But as you get closer, you realize they're not fireflies. They're wisps, flickering over small, shallow graves. One grave catches your eye. It's a headstone, marked with your own name, etched in a language that feels oddly familiar, yet ancient. He stares at it, and as he does, the ground shifts, and a small, lifeless hand, reaches out from the earth, clutching your ankle. You try to pull away, but more hands emerge, grasping at your legs and clothing. Each hand is cold and clammy, skeletal fingers curling around you like vines. You recognize some faces in the mist, pale and mournful, their eyes hollow yet fixed on you. They're the faces of your friends, strangers, even your own family, each one frozen in a mournful, accusing stare. One voice, distorted and echoing, whispers, "You left us here." A chill runs through you as you hear a familiar tune, the melody you often play, but twisted and sorrowful, coming from somewhere deep in the forest. You know if you follow it, you might be able to escape, but the hands pull tighter, their grip unyielding. Please give me a will save.
Okie dokie.
You got this.
I'm not used to having decent will saves in games.
We love spooky dreams.
Hell yeah.
You too are able to avoid this effect. Just as your vision begins to dim, you are jolted awake, the faint echo of that haunting melody still lingering in your mind. As each of you begin to jolt awake, your eyes fall upon your companions. You see Amiri staring, open eyes, straight towards the sky, but you can't tell. Is she breathing? Valerie is up kind of against the log. She's not holding herself, but you can tell there's some composure, some deep breaths. And Lindsay is actively rolling over her stomach, back on her back, over her stomach, back on her back. What would you like to do?
Is that an open question?
It is an open question to all three of you. You're all awake now.
The ones who still seem kind of like trapped in whatever this nightmare is, I'm gonna try to shake them awake, pull them out of it.
Okay.
I want to. This seems right up my alley. I want to like do some magic detecting here.
Okay. I would say, Graham, go ahead and give me what would this be? I feel like if you're just trying to shake them awake, I would take an acrobatics.
It's not just that, because based on what I just went through, I know that there is something else at play here. So if there's any way I can weave in some kind of a tune to kind of pull them back, kind of like what I had in my dream, that was kind of the way back,
Okay.
like something like that.
Sure. Performance, do you
it's
think?
like a gentle shaking, but mostly it's me kind of like starting up this melody.
Yeah, so a performance.
Okay.
Victoria, go ahead and give me a detect magic.
There's a button for that somewhere. Is it in one of these? Where would that be? They don't
Should
have a button just for
be-
detect magic, do they?
You might have to use your basic action macro for that. I'm sure there is one.
That's
So there's
something-
identify magic, but that's maybe not it.
Here's recall. Yeah, you should be able to just use the basic action macros, though. Just give me a occultism check.
I can do that.
Do a recall knowledge occultism.
Now I've got to find occultism. There it is. No, I wish clicking the name would give the roll. Yeah.
Okay. And Erdir, what are you doing?
Kind of like looking around, like what the fuck is going on?
Uh-huh. Okay. Victoria,
What are you doing?
you immediately pick up. The moment you even open yourself up to it, you hear the whispers, you feel the oppressive presence, you realize you are currently sleeping in a haunt.
Oh, fun.
What?
A haunt.
That's no good.
You ever heard of ghosts?
Like a ghost.
This is more aggressive. Oh boy. Okay.
Typically, I would say in regards to your role, you would know that when it comes to haunts, there's typically two ways to deal with them that isn't just leave. It's either determine what's causing the haunt and what it wants done to like stop hunting. That's normally if you're dealing with like an individual ghost. The other is through religion like sanctification, getting someone with a large ability with a cleansing aspect of their deity to be able to kind of cleanse and in many ways kind of destroy the haunt through God-fueled magic. You can tell that this is a fairly intense haunt. This is definitely not one solo soul. You don't know how many, but there is a pool of aggressive, dead energy that resides in this camp.
These 15 ghosts sure are angry.
Yeah, they quite pissed. Turns out.
No wonder the brothers didn't want to be here.
Remember when
It does make sense, really.
Yeah, remember when we blew that guy's head up? I think they're angry.
Nah, come on. Can't bygones be bygones?
Did we... None of our Can I close this camping menu?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was taking up half my screen. Are any of our... I don't think any of our companions are strong enough to cleanse the area.
Well, I guess I don't know how many of you actually know about each other's deities, to be completely honest.
That's what I'm like, I don't know.
The only cleric you have has been asleep in that wagon for a long time, and he's not even a cleric. He's a champion.
I mean, I could ask my deity, but I don't think that'll end well.
Interesting enough, I'm not exactly sure. There's a lot of deities right now that are going to help this situation.
Yeah, no. I was gonna make a joke about your deity being Cthulhu, and then I remember I actually saw it on your stream one time. So, like, not far off.
Yeah, no, not very, very deep ones, kind of.
But there is something interesting in that concept that is your deity so scary that it could scare a haunt? Like there is a way to look into this of like, hey, you might be darker, you might be scarier. Literally think of the title they carry.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm kind of like maybe I should see if my deity could just be the big bad.
My god is bigger.
My god may not be bigger, my god might be scarier. And I think my god might be scarier.
Well,
You know what? Let's give it a shot.
absolutely. Let's
worst that could
do
happen?
it. It is a DC 18 religion check.
Oh, religion. I totally have religion.
And please, if you wouldn't mind, tell us what this looks, sounds, or will be like for everyone else that's not Victoria.
Oh yes, please. I want to know.
Oh, it's well, it's all gonna be bad because I only have an untrained religion for some reason.
Oh, fucking.
It's fine.
I'm surprised I can't use occultism for that.
Unfortunately, well,
Yeah.
yeah, because you are specifically trying to say, oh, deity of my calling.
Yeah. Well, then, you know what? It's a Hail Mary, but it's gonna be, she's gonna
You could get that nat 20.
You could.
she's gonna get down on her knees and she's gonna start chanting backwards.
You just got to beat a 15. I will say you should be able to add, you have a bolster confidence, so that's going to be a +1. So you'll have an
Yeah.
extra +1 to it. And I would say this would be considered a skill check, so that you technically have an additional +2. So
Do I have anything else that'll
you
let
got to beat a
me-
13.
Will anything else let me hex spells? No, that's not. Let's see what else we got. Patron skill, occultism. That's no. I should have a couple. I should have another cantrip. Okay. Have to worry about that later.
What language are you about to perform this prayer in? I feel like that's important as well.
I don't even know what these languages are because they've changed the names of them.
The Chthonian was abyssal. Jotun is your giant.
Fey, elven.
And the
Aklo
Aklo is looking on archives. Okay. It appears
Yeah, it's like
Aklo.
they-
Oh. Wait a minute.
Is it bad?
Well,
good?
I need to look at somebody else's character sheet real quick.
Oh no.
Huh.
Is that what it is? It
Well, no, it's not that it's bad. It's a mixture. It's like an under.
Oh, is that the? No, it wouldn't be. That's the wrong one. Because I think Oryx had the ability to talk to Satoshi. I'm not sure what Aklo would be.
Let's see. I'm looking for something better than archives. Language guide, indeed. Show me Aklo.
Oh. Oh, it's partial tongue.
Daros, evil fae, and otherworldly monsters.
Well, I guess it'll be in Aklo.
Great.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally the Cthulhu tongue.
Yeah, basically.
At
Not
3,
only-
literally at
In the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
It's not only Cthulhu tongue, it's backwards Cthulhu tongue.
perfect.
with a slight glowing to my eyes.
That's great. Everybody should feel safer now.
All right, here comes that religion check.
Good fun.
Does it have all of the +1?
It
so I need
should.
to turn on the +1 for bolster and
Yeah.
campfire, I guess.
I don't know if it does it automatically. You do have
It
the.
does not. I have to toggle it on.
Yeah.
Untrained improvisation gets toggled on because that's a thing. So I get a +5.
There you go.
Religion.
Just got to get a 13.
That is-
Unfortunately, that is missing a
I have
1
the
in
hero
front of
point.
it. You do.
No, we're gonna come on.
Oh.
No. Why
Okay.
is it bullshit, is what that is.
Let's see. Let me just,
Oh, well.
let me,
Portal to dimension.
me just see real quick.
Like I
These
said,
other
I
person
Hail
here,
Married it.
I can't remember them now.
No, it's okay. I can't even pronounce my my deity's name, so it's okay.
Was it near Lathatep?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know how you remembered that when I couldn't.
I'm a big
Okay.
Lovecraft fan. So
As
that's where that comes from.
Makes sense. See you later.
as this very off-putting, almost non-identifiable sound comes from Victoria, the moment it ends, most of you don't feel a change at all. It still feels eerie. It still feels oppressive. It still feels bad. But Victoria, you would feel the air around you start to grow thick, damp, suffocating.
Before it all happens, after I finish the chant, it's just a very light. I have made a mistake.
Darkness
Mistakes were made.
begins to creep in, swallowing the edges of your vision until only a single terrible point of light remains. A three-lobed burning eye that flickers just out of reach, fixated on you with a cold, detached interest. A whisper, soft, echoing, and scraping like claws on stone, reaches into your mind, devoid of warmth, but tinged with mocking amusement.
Child of shadows, you stumble, seeking my favor, yet offering not, but hollow murmurs.
The burning eye flares slightly, and you feel your heartbeat grow erratic, drumming like frantic wing beats of bats in a cave, amplifying a sense of creeping dread.
Darkness does not gravel, it consumes. If you would serve me, go forth and consume the light. Encourage those who see the end as distant to bring it closer. Forge a path for the inevitable.
The eye's burning light dims, the darkness around it thickening, and you're left with the impression of winged shapes and echoes of unsettling laughter. The message is clear. Being passive is completely unacceptable. To earn your favor with your deity, you must act boldly, sowing despair and hastening the end they seek.
You know, as one does.
Opening lots of
Well.
fun doors tonight.
Hey, you're welcome.
One
We were worried about this going on too long, and yet again, I'm gonna burn down another world.
Yeah, there you've done it. You're calling forth a great.
Not only, I mean, a lot of the gods in this game are violent, but
Yeah, so violent they kill each other and one might die.
yeah, well, my god might be more violent than some of the others. You know.
He definitely seems to like to be in the dark.
Well, shame.
Sadly, the rest of the night continues With, I'm assuming,
No,
Victoria.
I think basically that he just contacted an old one. The fact that the night is continuing and it's not just like the end times, it's actually kind of a good thing, really.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Matter of perspective.
The rest is not great. Everybody's kind of looking awkwardly at each other. Nobody wants to talk about the experience that Victoria's just had. There's every single small, like, scrape of someone's boot or, like, creak of a metal causes everyone to kind of jump scare. Irdir is still looking around like, what is wrong with these people? Like, this is just ridiculous. Eventually, the sun begins to show a little bit of light. A little bit of the fog begins to fade. And eventually,
Hey, spell slot restored. Perfect.
you're able to push through the rest of the early morning, getting not as much rest as you would have liked, but enough to survive, enough to not have a pounding headache. It's been a very off-putting night. It's that awkward thing where nobody wants to talk about it. Everyone feels like things have gone a little bad.
Or like not making eye contact. Just
I can't see.
But things only get a little bit worse once you all start to head back to the cart.
uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that.
There is blood.
Really don't like that.
There is a body.
No, Duckworth.
There's movement. Subtle rise and fall. Very painful breathing. As the first of you arrive, you do see Duckworth with a horrible slash wound across his neck and down through his chest. It luckily appears to have missed his artery, but it has caused a horrible wound in his windpipe. He looks to you and he doesn't have fear in his eyes. There's just sadness. Of course, you look for Armir. You look for the young man. You didn't hear anything all night. For all of your watches, things were quiet. There are prints. First in blood, then just hard footsteps leading deep and further into the woods. And I'm afraid to say that's where we'll have to pick it up next week.
Can you refresh my memory as to who Duckworth even is?
Oh, absolutely, I can. Good old Finled Duckworth at your service. I was a member of the Belmont family for quite a while. I performed many great services at their stables. And when Miss Victoria asked for me to take part of your crew, I said absolutely, it'd be my utmost pleasure to be the leader of this caravan for you lot. I've been quite quiet, sitting back here making sure this cart gets exactly where it needs to be going, and most recently, keeping a close eye on that wee one you got from the Dryad's Grove. He and I have gotten quite close lately, but it seems he wanted to get closer last night.
They hurt my ducky. No.
Nah,
Ducky ain't dead, but Ducky dying.
He's having a bad time.
He having a not so
soothe him.
Where's my
Next
dying
time.
status? Give me
Next
there's
time,
dying.
Stay tuned, and I will fix him, or try to anyhow.
I can do it too. I have soothe, but
Oh.
yeah, I'm a witch. I got things.
Well,
This is a bad place.
You might be excited with the things I have, Hans.
oh, good.
Well,
that
they-
sounds
they-
promising, considering
They they
something.
fit with the old one nonsense, so it's
Nice,
okay.
nice. That's
Yeah.
fine. I feel like it'll be fine.
You ever had any ghoulish cravings?
I mean,
Oh.
not recently, no, but now that you
Well,
mention it,
It's on touch. You want to touch?
So, having dealt with the Mara situation and your nightmare situation, you're going to be getting 65 XP. It should be popping up for you here in.
do you auto add
Moment.
that?
It should auto
Yeah,
add
it's
it.
auto-added now.
Yep,
Okay, cool.
it should. And thus, the world responds. And now,
And now it's
we've
a more
released
interesting
the
place.
Haunter of the Dark. So, I'm sure
Wonderful.
that's not going to have an
exactly
issue
what
at
I
all.
wanted to hear.
Yeah, he's fine. He's always existed. He's always been there.
That
I
is
mean-
exactly what I wanted to hear.
Not only have we his now champion is a witch. You know.
Great. This is great.
It'll be fine.
No notes.
I mean, I'm not sure how closely Victoria's been following the edicts of your deity, but perhaps now's the chance. It
I
is
didn't even
create
know I had edicts of my deity.
create darkness and encourage authorities to bring the apocalypse.
That's wonderful.
Did I
I'm
have?
so glad of that.
Yeah, that's part of the god when you select them.
Where's that written? On?
If you click the 3 dots and go to edit item under your deity, it'll be right there. Technically, there's nothing you can do wrong for your god. They have no anathema, though. There's
Oh, so that's
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, I was just going. Well,
So you're saying there's a chance?
not anymore. Now I've been visited
you've been
by an old one, and Victoria is very serious about these things.
Great.
So,
I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry. This group will handle this within
Like pros.
reason.
As always. Absolute truth.
It's gonna be so good.
Can I get another character sheet?
Can I get a third?
Oryx is back. Wow.
Now.
I don't like this door I've opened.
Victoria's gonna go hide in a hotel for a couple sessions. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Yeah, it's
We'll work it out.
no worse than
Yeah, I mean,
how
it's
things have
probably-
already been.
It's fine.
There's nothing wrong.
I see no downsides to anything that transpired.
I am gonna go get food though.
Yeah. Not at all. All right. Well, thank you everyone for another enjoyable session. Again, never know where things are going to go.
I'll say.
We will be hopefully back next week and for multiple more weeks to come. So if you are enjoying this, if you're seeing this in the future, if you're catching us elsewhere, definitely check out all of our past campaigns. You will hear some very similar or familiar voices in things like City of Mist and Rogue Trader and all of these other things. We're going to go ahead and disconnect from the stream now. So for anyone that's out there that might be watching that I don't know is already listening to me right now, take care of yourselves. And I don't have anything else to follow up with because I just know it's just you all. So you don't get any other